Good evening and welcome to Between the Lanes, episode number 141. I'm Ron.
I'm Shane.
And we can't see Shane, but hey, here we are.
I'm still here.
He's still here. Welcome to Between the Lanes, episode number 141. You can find us on YouTube. Channel is Slot Racer. We have 141 episodes up now with some special how-to videos along with some special episodes. And Facebook, Between the Lanes is the page on Facebook. We don't have any race results, but things are starting to percolate out there. So a lot of raceways in the last week or so and the last few days have announced schedules and events coming up. No real major events to speak of right now. Whoops, we went past that, but oh well, I don't have the sun. Oh my God, what is this doing? There we go. I don't have the Sunday thing up, but we'll talk about some upcoming races. They're going to be racing at Real Speed Raceway in Fort Wayne, Indiana this Saturday, the 16th. Shane's got a couple of races coming up down his way he's going to tell you about.
Is that my cue?
That was your cue.
Oh, we got May 30th. We have the Mid-South race at the Slot Car Track Concord. And then we fast forward, I think, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And June 13th is the Archdale Enduro, or it's not the Archdale, it's the Mid-America Enduro. I think that's the name of it. I'm probably butchering it, but, you know.
So is it Mid-America because Mid-America Products is sponsoring it?
That is correct.
Okay.
And then we have the Mad Fast race June 20th that is returning to the Slot Car Track Concord, North Carolina.
Okay.
So, and then supposedly on the 29th, that Friday before the Mid-South race, we're kind of having like everyone break out your flat track stuff and kind of get ready. So that'd be GT12, JRL, and then your production cars.
And when is that?
That is the Friday, the 29th of May.
Oh, okay. Oh, the night before the Mid-South race.
Right, yeah.
Okay, I got you.
We kind of talked about it and all that, and I honestly forgot about it and seen the post, and I was like, oh, all right, you know.
Right, because in this last week they've announced that they're going to have is it North Carolina Flat Track Series next year? I mean, well, later this year and part of next year.
Yeah.
It's going to run from, I forget what it's
going to be. 6 races.
Yeah, every other month.
You're allowed to drop 2, and it's like every other month you race. So like the guy that's traveling from, you know, like I'm sure James will probably come. You know, he's coming from the Atlanta area per se, and me coming up from Charleston. It's not a every month thing on top of all the other series that we may or may not possibly race. You know, so.
Right. And there's, as far as I know, not seen anything official. I think there still may be a decision made either way. But as of right now, the USRA scale mats, which will start on June 16th, is still on schedule to take place.
I don't think it's June 16th, is it?
Yep.
I thought it was, is it? Okay.
Yeah, June 16th. I looked it up yesterday.
Got it.
So that is still on schedule. But they said it would be probably mid-May before they made a full hard decision.
Right. Yeah, because right now they're still on lockdown, aren't they?
I believe so. Well,
gotcha.
Yeah, again, it's hard to keep up with all the different.
Yeah, there's different states doing different things.
Right. So as we know more, we'll keep you posted on that. And then a couple of new raceways seem to be coming online, and we'll have some more information maybe next week on a couple of those. Seems like, you know, there's some tracks out there for sale, and it seems like there's some buyers for them. So I think that we're going to maybe pick up a couple of raceways here the next month or two. You know, maybe 3 or 4. I don't know. So
right.
Haven't heard of any closing over anything yet, but
same here. For the most part, of the ones that I'm aware of, I know are opening now.
Right. well, the rough part is now that they're opening, it's summertime or getting ready to be summertime, and
Right.
we all know how summertime works. But being's a lot of major events in states and cities and stuff have already been canceled for the summer. That could be a blessing in disguise, and maybe those people will now, instead of going doing other things, summer activities, maybe they'll go to the slot car track and spend a little more time at the slot car track than they normally do in the summertime. So
Right.
that could be a blessing. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so hang on. All right. So last week we had a discussion about motor economics. I don't know if it was motor economics. It was kind of throwaway sealed motors versus sealed reusable motors. And we got some good feedback. I mean, some people sent some messages in and some posted here or there some comments about it. And we didn't really have anything negative about it. I think most people agreed with the difference in the economics between using the two.
Right.
I don't think it changed anyone's mind out there or going to change any racing programs anytime soon. But I had one when a comment, it was a message sent that on the it was kind of like point counterpoint, you know what I mean? So
Right.
his take was that the throwaway sealed motors are better for the raceway owner because they sell more motors that way, so they get more repeat sales. That's more income for the raceway owners. And I understand that, and I know, in the past that I know raceways that went to those motors for that reason. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, do those motors and the fact you have to buy so many so often run racers off over time?
Right.
I don't have an answer for that. Like, it's just, kind of point counterpoint. So
right. You have your serious guys that no matter what they want to race, and like you said, you have some guys like every time I race I got to buy a new motor, or
right.
Every 3 weeks I got to buy a motor, why can't we go to these?
Right. So yeah, there's going to be different opinions all the time on this stuff, but hey, we talked about it. And yes, we will probably next week or in the next couple weeks talk about built motors versus sealed motors, or even sealed serviceable motors. So that'll be another interesting evening of discussion. But
yeah,
because that's
we've both been on that side of the spectrum, though. I mean, we both run built motors and we both run sealed motors.
Right. So we'll go a little more in depth in that, because that takes a little more comparing and posting stuff up and stuff like that. So that'll be coming up in the next couple weeks. And then one gentleman posted, I guess it was a response to that sealed motor discussion. Could you make a list of the built motor races? Because that person liked built motor racing, and he wants to go attend, I guess, some built motor races. So the gentleman lives in Minnesota, and I mean, honestly, I can't tell you. I mean, the closest that I know of that has any type of built motors series racing going on, the closest to Minnesota that I know of would be, other than wing cars. Now, if you want to race wing cars, you could run Formula 2000 in Wisconsin and Illinois. But if you want to run scale cars with built motors, Midwest Flat Track Series in the Chicago area would probably be. I was
thinking the Flat Track Series they had going on there.
Right, because they run, I guess, 4 classes on a monthly basis, and only one of those 4 is with sealed motors, and that would be the enduro class, what they call the enduro class, and they use the. I think you can run either a 4002 FK or the Scorpion 4007 in the stamped steel chassis, and the other 3 classes, which are JRL, Open 12, maybe GT12. I don't know if they have two GT12 class. Oh, there's a production class, I think is what it is. Either A or B production. And it's a built motor and a stamped steel chassis. And then you've got the JRL, which is a built CCAN contender motor. And then Open 12 is a open CCAN 12 motor. I mean, there's rules, but what you can and can't do. But and it's in like a spring steel open chassis, 124 scale, and they run like the ISRA scale type LMP, GTP bodies, yeah, stuff like that. So, yeah, as far as I know, in vicinity to Minnesota, that would you're gonna have to travel probably 4 to 6 hours at least to go run built motors, and then the other options would be go USRA Nats in California, just off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. I mean, the next closest, I guess, would be, would be the OCC series in Ohio, but they only run one class of built motors. So there's just not, and I mean, I've thought about this the last month or so, a couple months, I guess. Like, people start talking about built motors and Facebook, and then all these people, I shouldn't say all these people, but a lot of people come in and say, oh, it'd be really cool if we ran built motors, classes, and we had built motor racing going on. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, all these people are so far away from one another, there's no way you could do it unless you got a bunch of people close to you and convince them to start racing built motors. And I don't know, sometimes I'm going to just tell you good luck with that. But, and I'm thinking, like, would there be, if you was to hold like a CCAN national championship race, and that's all you race, like 4 or 5 classes of CCAN motors only, maybe one 16D class built, and then you had like 3 or 4 CCAN classes. Would that even be worth having? Like, would that be worth pursuing for someone to do? And, hopefully you get 20, 30 guys show up and race all the classes, or at least hopefully you get 20 to 30 for each class.
Right.
And that'd be a nice little weekend. You know what I'm saying? But
see, like when I first started racing Mid-South, they ran like a Bush series, which was like for beginners.
Right.
And it was a 4.5-inch Nash truck class on Friday night. That was like you could scratch build your chassis.
Right.
And they ran Super 16Cs in them.
Right.
And then Saturday we would run, built CCAN, Super 16C or Super Lost GTP, and then we would alternate every other year. We would either run like 4-inch NASCAR with 16Ds,
right,
or it was a 4-inch with a 4.5-inch dirt late model body with 16Ds on it. And then, like, one year, we even put contender motors in it.
Right.
And then, like, our scale, 4.5-inch scale class, we've always tried to keep it kind of like the USRA, built 16D motors.
Right.
I think that was the class. Yeah, we ran 3 on Saturday and then the 2 on Friday.
Right.
I mean, it was all built motors.
Right. And then, and that's, so going back to the CCAN national thing, I mean, if you do it all on a flat track, you're going to get limited entries. If you do it on a bank track, you're probably going to get more overall entries. Do you try and do it at a facility where you have a flat track and a bank track?
Do 2 and 2.
Yeah, or I don't. Where does it all fit in? You know what I'm saying? So.
It sounds fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool. I mean,
I've always enjoyed building motors. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it would be fun to do it. I mean, I would probably have to partake in it depending on the timing and the schedule and everything else. But, yeah, it could be a lot of fun. But I just don't know how many people would seriously pursue it to make it worth a go. So.
I mean, what would you consider? What, 20 people per class would be worth your while?
Well, I just think that would be, that would make it worth your while. I mean, I think back to the old days. I say old days, 20 years ago or so. And we'd have these, nats, and you could get 20, 30 guys a class,
Right.
maybe a little more than that. And, it's just more fun when you go to a bigger race and there's more people there. It's
like some people ask me, why do you go to this race? You don't go to that race. And I tell them, when I race, I have to travel 3 hours, 3.5 hours minimum.
Right.
I don't have anything local to me. So it's like, do I want to travel and race 5 or 6 guys? Nothing against those guys. Or do I want to travel and race against, 20 or 30 guys?
Right. Right.
Like some people, you go all the way to Ohio whenever you can go to North Carolina. Again, nothing against my North Carolina people, but it's just like you go to Ohio and there's 30 or 40 guys there.
Right. Right.
And I got to take off work and travel expenses and all that kind of stuff. So it's like kind of worth more than, time going to Ohio. So. Right.
But it's the old adage, like I say, would you rather drive 6 hours and race 30 guys or, drive 2 hours and race 10? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So when there's guys like me, it's like, well, we'll just do both of them. But I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say there's been times where it's like, all right.
I mean, I always have fun when I go race, but I mean, it's just more. I don't know. It's just like the race has more validity to it if there's more people there. And I'm not saying that you have to have all these people there to make for a good race.
Right.
I'm just saying it's just a better time.
It gives it more of a racing atmosphere when there's more people.
Right.
When there's 5 or 10 of your buddies there, it's just more like, oh, we're just hanging out with my buddies.
Right. Well, you get to a point where it's just like this is like a weekly race.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has that feel to it. So I think with more people and it's a it's a planned kind of big event, then it's more prestigious. It's more worth going to and doing the best you can do. You know what I mean?
Right. So that's the thing where, like, I've talked to Randy before, and he kind of brought up a very valid point, and I've thought about this as well, is if you're going to a race and you're going and you got 2 other friends that race, why not call them and say, hey, I'm going to such and such this weekend. You know what I mean? So now they know you're going, and then maybe they got 2 or 3 friends. Hey, such and such, such and such, and, I'm going. You want to, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then before you know it, you got 20 or 30 guys there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, and then you got the guys, oh, well, there's only going to be maybe 5 people there. I'm not going to go. It's like, well, maybe if you go, now they have 6 people, and, this person finds out you're going, and now it's 8 or 9 people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Yep. So yeah, that's a thought. But like I said, I mean, it always crosses my mind. Okay, so everybody wants to do this. What's going to happen if we try and do it? Is it, you're going to show up?
Or you would say, someone put something together, and if it's timing right, and the right classes and everything, I'd go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know that. I mean, now that the whole me getting on the plane thing's kind of been settled, it's like, yeah.
Right.
If I got the money and got the time, you just let me know. I'll be there.
Right. So, yeah, if anybody feels froggy, jump.
Yeah.
Or leap, I guess is what they say.
Yeah. So, it's all free ideas,
It's all free ideas. It may work and it may not work.
Yeah. One of the things you don't know until you try.
Right. And then I think next week too, because this was another question to be asked. Somebody wrote in wanted us to discuss armature timing. That's going to happen in the next week or two because that takes a little more preparation for that because there's just a whole bunch of stuff in there and it's not just as simple as saying, yep, you crank timing up and your motor goes faster. there's a lot of other factors to consider in there. So So we want to try to explain it the best and as fully as we can for those who don't know. And even for those who know, they might learn something too. We never know. So we have some giveaways this week. Mid-America Products has instructed us to give away 3 packs of 10-foot lengths of lead wire. So without further ado, we'll give away some Mid-America lead wire. 10 packs. You need to contact Mid-America Products or Roger Schmidt on Facebook. So he'll know where to send them to. 3 winners. The first winner is, he's won before, and I can't, Clem Ojevich, Ojevich. Clem, you have won 10 feet of Mid-America lead wire. Second winner will be Brandon Kling. Brandon Kling, contact Roger at Mid-America. And our final winner will be Bobby Beachman. I had a hard time reading it.
Know in the morning.
Yeah, Bobby Beachman gets 10 feet. Mid-America lead wire.
That's funny. I think that's the first time he's ever won anything.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't remember ever pulling his name out of there.
Yeah.
See, it's all you guys that always every week say, you never pull my name. Have faith. Like I said, there's like over 500 names in that bucket. So
right.
And Bobby's been in there since the beginning, So, and how you get in the bucket, you got to like the page, like the episode, or if you do the word of the show in the comments, that'll get you in there too. So, and every week yep, this guy's in, he's in. Nope, here's a new guy. He goes in the bucket. So,
yeah, I'll tell you keep track of the new guys or new people.
I have a master list.
Oh, yeah, here you go. I was like, clearly you don't dump all the names out.
But I think I'm going to mail you the master list. I think I'm going to give you a homework assignment. You got to put them in alphabetical order because it's much easier to. I'm teasing you.
I probably do it.
I know, but I know I need to go because I've got it alphabetical so far, and then I just started writing names down.
Oh, yeah.
So I need
there
to.
you go.
Got to quit being lazy on that.
Like the old days when you'd go to the library and what was it, the almanac or something like that, where it had everything, you had to pull it out.
No, not the almanac.
I don't know what it's called.
The Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah.
And but there was a name for the files of the cards that had the Dewey Decimal numbers. I can't think what that is.
That'd be the word of the show. What's the name of that thing?
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, the the library card system, I think, is what they called it.
Yeah. Now you just go.
No.
What are you looking for?
Library card is what you had to give them to get your book. Well, it was the Dewey Decimal System card index. You got to go to card index is what they called it, I think. Go over to the card index.
Yeah.
And you go through there. Like you said, somebody pull a card out and then put it in somewhere else. Now it's all on computer. It has been for a long time. And now where I'm at, we don't even have library cards anymore. You just punch your phone number or something in the computer and scan the book. And like they don't even,
last time it's been since I've been to a library.
Well, I don't think they're all like that, but yeah, mine's pretty modernized. Like they really don't even need the
There's a library close to the house here. It's literally like 5 minutes up the road. I mean,
yeah, mine's like 3 blocks away, the main library.
Yeah. only time I ever used to go there was before TurboTax, because you know how they would always have like your tax forms and stuff that they would fill out.
Right. So I was kind of bummed out because they closed our library really early in the shutdown. Because when they announced the shutdown, I'm like, well, I'm going to go over and spend probably the better part of a day in what they call the Indiana room, which is like a research room. And they have like all the old city directories and phone books and stuff. And the building I'm in was built in 1870s or 1880s. And I wanted to go over there and wanted to find out like every business that's ever been in this building that I'm in since it was built.
Right.
And I thought that'd be perfect to do during the shutdown. Well, then they shut the library down. They shut everything else down.
Access denied.
So yeah, so I haven't got to do that. So
that's pretty neat that the building you're in was built in the 1800s.
Yeah, supposedly it was a shoe factory when it was built, but I don't know if it was a shoe factory. But I know
I can show you some buildings from the 1600s.
Right, I know a few things that was in this building, but I want to have like definite years. Because what's weird about my building is on the third story, there's basically half of a gym, and there's half a basketball court up there with two baskets. And they said that it was somebody said, well, there was a gentleman's club up there. It's like, not a gentleman's club. And it was, back then it was called an athletic club. Right. And it's kind of cool because there's an old chalkboard up there. That's really not a chalkboard. It's like chalkboard paper, like stuck to the wall. Like it's almost like a wallpaper that's chalkboard. And you can tell it's really old writing. And there's like Jimmy somebody owes dues for the last 2 weeks, 20 cents. And like it's
on Facebook, like, hey,
it's slowly fading away, but there's all kinds of names up there and who owes what, and then one of the doors up there is like a speakeasy. It's got a little thing and you slide it over to peek through the hole. It's like okay, what all was up there? We got to find out. So yeah. So that's pretty much all I got. Kind of a short show tonight. I do want to let you know this is episode 141, and in the next day or two, this is going to probably post up on Thursday night. The next day or two after that, will be episode number 142, which is a special episode that I did with Rob Hansen, who's kind of a chassis designer, chassis builder, and we have some pictures of some stuff he designed on the CAD, and he explains some of the things he does while he's designing and how he lays things out and measures stuff. And so if you're a chassis builder, you might learn some stuff or maybe get some ideas from that. And we thought that was going to be a pretty quick little special episode, but it turned into probably an hour-long episode after we started talking about his history in slot racing and how him and I kind of raced together for a while. And he quit for a long time. And he started racing the retro stuff, and when I started racing the retro stuff. And so, there's a little bit of history in there and some funny stories. And then there's the technical side of it. So look for episode 142 in the next couple of days. We'll let you know when it's posted up. And we'll be back next week for episode number 143, and talk about some other stuff. So until next week.
I was going to say, we won't have any race results. Oh, yeah, we should have race results if they're racing it.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, from Fort Wayne. Yeah. And I think the AWRA did post up some race results, but I didn't swipe them from the race they had a couple of weeks ago. So I'll get them up there and go from there. So until next week, everybody be safe, wash your hands, be careful. If you're going racing, good luck. And what's the secret word of the show?
We'll say,
Huh? Yeah,
I'm trying to think. We talked about all kinds of different stuff.
I was going to say, how do you spell aya?
Yeah, that's Guatemalan.
Okay. So
The library card.
no, not library card.
I don't know.
How about we just do opening?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
Means things are starting to open. Races are starting to take place.
Yep.
All right. We'll do that just for Shane.
Opening or
Opening. All right. Till next week. Adios.